This one smells like beef.
Was that a little girl? I smell like beef.
I smell beef.
I smell like beef.
Welcome back to the Jojitorium. Well, I think remember too. Whenever we found the German Scheiser porn. Let's not lie to each other. You're in twerk classes over there. That's
yeah. That's all it is.
The fitness class.
Working on them TikTok videos you like so much.
Dead face.
Got right in front of you.
Welcome back to the Jojitorium. You know who it is. It's Adam. It's Matt. And we're back, baby. Double clothesline! Friends of the podcast, Karen and Ann, better known as Sugar Coated Murder, wrote a book. This addicting piece of literature is called Click, Click, Click. These two true crime podcasting sisters get the scoop of a lifetime when they are given intimate details about a murder cover-up in their hometown. How does a small-town, good-natured teenager land on a kill list? A toxic friendship out of control results in a murder. And on a clear Friday night, 3 classmates gather. A shot rings out and one is dead. But no one knows for over 2 years. You can grab Click, Click, Click at Barnes & Noble and on Amazon. Just check out the show notes, too, for the direct link for the Amazon buy. And while you're at it, give Sugar Coated Murder a follow by checking them on Instagram at Sugar Coated Murder. But just make sure you tell them that the boys sent you.
We sent you. Again.
We'll send you every time because guess what? We are back. The last attempt to bring you happiness was around Halloween 2022.
Yeah.
So we had to take a break. And we've been gone since the Bobby Nacho episode. But fear not, my understanding is...
The lost episode.
That we cannot recover. I did not spend all this time away not trying to get that to work.
I think we'll get a redo.
Yeah. Because he's already promised us that he wants to come back on. So I'll gladly have Bobbert Nacho, a.k.a. Jim Simmons, a.k.a. Beer Daddy, back up on here. It's going to be good. So... I'm not going to be like one of those podcasts like, oh, we'll leave up the mystery. Why are we gone? It's simple. Life ramps up. Life takes a hold of you sometimes. Sometimes you got to take a step back, right your ship. And that's what I did. Me, Matt. This is my responsibility. But I never stopped wanting to do this. Let me just say that. I love this. I love doing this. If we had 5 people listening or 100 people listening or whatever the hell, I missed it. And I'm very happy that, Adam, you stuck with me and you still wanted to do this. You bothered me incessantly.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. It was good to know that you're my best friend, but also like my podcasting partner. And this is so much fun to do this with you. So thank you very much for not throwing the towel on me and waiting for me to get my brain wrangled. So I appreciate it.
No problem, buddy. There was just definitely some dark times there in January.
Just a couple, but I feel like we only strengthened our friendship.
We were both going through some shit.
Yeah, but we leaned on each other too.
It's all good now.
Yeah, it feels good. And we missed all of you. We love you. If you stayed with us, thank you. If you had to move on, we understand. You're not going to sit around and look at an empty Instagram page, but you can always come back. The lights are always on.
We missed all of you, but most of all, we missed each other.
Yes.
Scissor me, Daddy Mass. You are now Daddy Mass, by the way.
I'll take whatever I can take.
You can call me Brew Daddy. And
Brew Daddy, Daddy Mass.
That's, I guess, Brew Daddy's Ben. But
yeah, well,
I'll come up with a nickname
we'll
eventually.
figure it
You're
out.
Daddy Mass, though.
So the other thing you guys are going to see here, there's no video. We're going to take a break from video for a while for 2 reasons. One, it's a lot of extra work for the both of us to do that. And secondly, when we relaunch the video side of it, I want to have updated equipment. So, I got to, budget stuff out. It's not cheap. So I'm going to work on that. Don't worry. You'll see our moderately okay faces at some point. But until then, enjoy the audio. And we're going to drop on Mondays instead of Sundays. Cool. I think that kind of wraps up.
Yeah,
all
and
that
like
stuff.
we kind of said about Bobby Nacho, we will be bringing guests back eventually, but of course there's always family episodes, where it's just me, Matt, chilling, and I think the content pretty much is going to stay the same.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk a little bit of combat sports, a lot about beer, and a lot about other things we like. So.
Yeah. I think a big thing about this is we want to give brewers a chance to come in and talk about the things that they love and give up-and-coming brewers, and then also like musical artists, comedians, whoever. Like I like to think of it as barroom chat. So if we can bring you in and have a good time with us over a couple beers, and we can bring some spotlight to some cool local stuff. Be awesome. We're coming back for that like best of Pittsburgh thing because we got robbed. I'm not over it. I'm not over it. That's why we stopped, because I was mad.
Good luck with 2023 because you took half the year off.
I feel refreshed. Well, we are in round 1, and what a hell of a time to bring back a podcast that's focused primarily on beer, but in the throngs of beer festival season. Adam, you've been a busy little bee. So, for the first time in a long time, it's round 1. You brewed up some beers. What do we call it? Round 1 beers. What do we got?
So, this is August, and August is Barrel and Flow season, baby. This year, August 12th, the Stacks at 3 Crossings in the Strip District here in Pittsburgh, Barrel and Flow is coming back. And for those of you who don't know what Barrel and Flow is, it is a brew fest that focuses on black artists and black-owned breweries and black-owned businesses and black-run nonprofits.
Yeah.
And they pair a lot of those artists and companies and nonprofits up with brewers to kind of just get them out there and get them heard and get them noticed like they should be. And it's just the gateway for that is through beer.
Yeah. And I got to see that they have the motherfucking locks coming through.
Yeah, just announced that.
That's going to be
and
so
And they
cool.
just got, I think, the best beer festival in the U.S. from USA Today.
Oh, wonderful.
I think that was just announced this week.
That's
so.
cool. They've gotten a lot of national press.
I know
for
they're in
this.
the top 10. I think they were
easily.
number 1.
Yeah. If you haven't been to this, and I've been lucky enough to go to the last one and be like not a participant, but like a patron for the other one, it is otherworldly. Like, you just see a bunch of cultures melting together, and there's a common goal here to kind of put spotlights on, black culture and black art and black. It's a celebration for people of color to really bring light to areas that don't predominantly feature them. And Adam, this is the second time now. Second time or third time you're going to be pouring at this event?
This will be the third.
Third time. Yeah.
And it's great every time. It's on top of what they're doing for black-owned businesses and black artists. Like, it's just a cool festival with beer being, like I said, the gateway, but so much more to do with the music and there's live art demonstrations going on. There's going to be some beer demonstrations this year. So it's a very interactive festival. It's not to throw shade at any other festival, but this one is totally worth your money, and it's totally worth getting the VIP hour or the early admission.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to spend hours at a beer festival, this is the one to do it.
And especially this one, too, because we've heard from friend of the podcast, Hello Brewdivil, and Bigfoot Benjamin, that this year they're getting VIP because last year some brewers actually ran out of their, I guess it was like the premier or exclusive pours they had. Right. By the time the general came through, they were either just tapping that or it was gone. So
it's definitely the biggest VIP and early admission I've ever seen at a festival last year. And you were there to help.
Yeah.
You saw it too.
It was nuts, man.
I couldn't believe. I thought general admission started and we still had an hour left.
Yeah. I was like, what are we gonna do?
So yeah, I was like, whoa, it's crazy.
Yeah, so this is also another year where you've teamed up with a visionary of sorts, but this time you got something real sweet to work with.
Yeah.
So who'd you get to team up with this year?
I don't know if it was good luck or somebody just knew what we were into, but we have paired up with Darnella's Darling Delights, which is a bakery specializing in cupcakes, cookies, cheesecakes, and more. And you can find her baked goods on Darnella Darling Delights on Instagram. If you just at that, it'll pop up and it'll take you to all of her links. But our beer was based off of her lemon raspberry cupcake, which she said was her favorite. That's a favorite cake of mine,
yeah.
So it was no problem here. And the beer's called RAZMON. It's going to be it is a 5.8 blonde shandy brewed with those cupcakes and fermented with raspberry puree. And then we moved the beer and conditioned it on vanilla beans, more raspberry simple syrup, and lemon simple syrup.
Oh, great, man. So luckily enough for me, Nana Boo Boo, I get to have this before Barrel and Flow Fest. But if you get your tickets for Barrel and Flow, this will be running. Adam's going to be at booth 64, I believe it is, when the last time I checked. And you're going to be in the back row.
You're better than me. Yeah, if anybody was there last year, we're back kind of where all the food trucks were lined up last year. We're there again with a lot of the food trucks.
Yeah.
Darnella's going to have her food trailer there selling baked goods right next to us. And there's a couple breweries back there this year. They have it all kind of more integrated. So
Yeah, it's gonna be really
looking
cool, man.
forward to it.
This thing right here, though, the blonde shandy, it is nice and tart, but lighten up. It's kind of, I love watching these kind of beers knock like the Leinenkugel crap out of the park. Like and that's what this does. Like much like your dad's shoes, the lemon's very present, but that nice tartness of the raspberry that plays against it is so nice. It's just light. It's I would say airy almost, just because of how light it is on my tongue. But you did a great job on this, and the vanilla just has just enough.
Yeah.
Just enough vanilla.
Yeah. So, I mean, we couldn't ask for a better collab this year. She's super excited to do it. She started in her house just like we're brewing out of our house, and now she's growing and on the rise. We hope to follow her eventually. But, yeah, her cupcake was – I tried to just embody it as much as I could. So the cake was lemon. And there was a lemon golden Oreo on top.
Oh.
So that's why I wanted lemon to be the most prominent, then the vanilla for the frosting on there, and then she had a raspberry syrup drizzle. So that, that raspberry was just like that last little...
Can you say
pop.
raspberry drizzle like a Southern man?
I don't know if I can do so.
Raspberry drizzle.
Raspberry drizzle? But yeah, man, it was a delicious cupcake. She gave us a couple to have on the side. And we threw over a dozen into the mash. So.
Yeah. This is cool, man. This is probably one of my favorite beers you've made in a really long time.
Thanks, man. And it's got a nice pink hue to it that you guys can all see on Saturday.
Absolutely. And also the other beer that you're going to be able to see, and we lovingly called it our side cart, but it's prominent. It is the one, the only, the JOJINATOR, the flagship of Bash Brew. When I'm done with this nice, light, delicate shandy, I'm going to dig into the absolute dominator of a JOJINATOR, and I love it. Super just punchy, West Coast, sweet, just enough sweet. Oh, it's just like the recipe that you have down 100% is a JOJINATOR, and whenever you brew it, I get more excited for that beer than any other release anywhere else. So I'm glad that I have this as my next beer to have through the rest of round one.
Yeah. Thought I brewed it enough to have it down, but surprisingly changed some processes, became more efficient in getting alcohol out of the grain, and instead of an 8.2%, we got a 9% on our hands this year. So it's JOJINATOR ramped up. I mean, double IPA, still a double honey West Coast IPA. It's looking pretty clear, just a little bit of pale to it, like not cloudy like a hazy. And yeah, just traditional hops, Centennial, Cascade, Columbus, and Citra are all in there, just playing together very nicely.
Nice.
With a huge dry hop of Citra. So.
Wonderful. And it's always been.
And it was there last
flagship,
year, and
kicked.
It'll be there. We take it to Barrell and Flow because Barrell and Flow is the biggest beer fest for us, and that's the most important beer to me is JOJINATOR, the one we just built everything around.
I remember drinking that beer like almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
So there's 10 years of loving this thing.
Yeah, probably 2012, 2013 is the first time I made it. So yeah, you're right on with that.
Yeah, man. We always love combat sports news here, but we always like to congratulate our winners. Adam, while I was away from you decided to go out and win a couple awards too. So there were a couple pouring competitions you were at. I know it's homebrew competitions. It was two competitions you were able to take. You were
the last Brewing Up a Cause,
yes,
which I think was right before we hiatused.
Yes.
So we won that.
Yeah.
Or no, we covered that. We did cover that.
Okay.
Because that was early October.
Yeah. And then you're pouring alongside of our friends at Fifth Season and Whittlewood. I forget where you were at, but
out at Mondays.
That's it. Samfest, yes.
Samfest, yeah.
Samfest, yeah. So congratulations on
won the crowd vote there. That was nice. And then from North Hills Brewfest last year, we collab brewed our south of Hefeweizen with Penn Brewing over the hiatus.
Yeah.
So that was out this spring. I heard it's still on. I actually got to get out there and
hell yeah, dude.
Try some more.
So if you haven't had it. I actually had someone ask me today about it.
Yep.
I said I didn't know if it was on. It's still on.
It is still on.
Get out there. So I just wanted to say that congratulations to you. You were using your time away from me very well.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I really, like I said, had my own shit going on too. So dug into brewing a lot more. Just it brings me joy. And
it does.
It kind of lets me forget about anything stressful going on. So yeah, I really tore into it. And you came and helped with a couple.
I did
behind the scenes without
Yes.
the podcast going on.
Yes.
So it's not like we stopped talking.
No. But I love to see that you still went out there and showed everybody why they shouldn't mess with the champ.
Hey, we got a couple more going. Listen to the end of the podcast. Well, you're going to listen to the whole thing, but at the end we'll go over all the other festivals we're going to this summer. And fall.
Before we go into that combat, you know what we do around here. From Buckwood to Bell to Bellator and back, the boys bring you the best combat sports news in the biz. It's the
I thought
first
you
one
were.
back.
I thought you were going to get through it.
Man.
Oh man, I was getting real excited.
Bum, bum, bum. So, Francis Ngannou was one of the scariest fighters in the UFC. He retired away. Well, not retired, but he walked away from the UFC as the heavyweight champion. Nobody wanted a piece of him. He's trying to deal with his contract issues with Dana White, and it didn't work out. So now he's entering professional boxing, but he is not coming alone. When he goes to take on Tyson Fury in Saudi Arabia on October 28th, he's bringing the baddest man on the planet with him, Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson, if you didn't know, you should know, was actually an undersized heavyweight champion for, his time. And they're actually saying Ngannou has the same height and weight differential against Tyson Fury because Tyson has roughly 3 to 4 inches and roughly 30 to 40 pounds on Francis. But that's not to say that Ngannou isn't a physical freak.
Oh, he's a specimen.
He looks great.
Gigantic.
So during a presser this last Thursday, Ngannou was able to say the following: "Bringing Mike Tyson to my training camp is one of the best decisions I could make to prepare for Tyson Fury. His experience and boxing IQ will be important to honing my technique under his guidance to win this super fight." I think that this is going to kind of get Ngannou past that little bit of getting some of the MMA stuff still that rattling around there away. But I'm still kind of nervous he's taking on Tyson Fury.
Yeah, it's a true baptism by fire.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a shot. I mean, he has a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
He's got power. If he catches Tyson Fury, there's always a
Yeah.
chance, but I think that's about all the chance he's got.
Yeah, the chance of a puncher's punch, as they would say, is really what Ngannou has to ride on because Tyson Fury is going to enter this bout as the WBC heavyweight champion with a record of 33-0-1 with 24 wins coming by way of KO. So Tyson is not a judge's boxer. He is a mat boxer. So he's going to try to lay Ngannou flat. I think if Tyson can work on the movement that he had with Ngannou in the short amount of time, it is a short amount of time, that he might have a better chance. But, I might actually buy this 1 and 2 and in.
He's setting himself up for success, but I don't know if Francis is going to find that success. Not yet.
Yeah, he's going to find money on that one.
Yeah.
He's gonna get paid
Saudi
for this.
Arabia. They're paying everybody, obviously.
Yeah.
They're probably throwing Mike Tyson quite a few bills to show up on the
easily,
card, too.
yeah.
So.
Like, does he have to clear travel? Because he has a conviction, right? Because to travel over there, do you wonder if he has to clear that?
Yeah, he probably does.
Yeah, well, that's that Saudi Arabia money, though,
That's
man.
been long enough, though.
Yeah, it has been,
So,
right? Yeah.
It might not be that hard. I don't know. I don't know the criminal justice system very well.
Neither do I.
Thank goodness I
Yeah.
never had to.
So, speaking of knowing your opponents well, Justin Gaethje is calling out Conor McGregor right now.
McGregor knows the justice system.
He knows justice very well for multiple reasons. So, sticking with the land of MMA, Justin Gaethje, coming off a very impressive win against Dustin Poirier with a head kick that downed him. We're seeing some static from the Notorious One after that victory came to fruition. Conor McGregor tweeted out, "I KO him in one shot, I guarantee it." This is pretty commonplace for McGregor to tweet out and try to stir the pot, which if you can take a lot of things from McGregor, but the one that you can't take is that he sells fights.
Yeah, he's got the gift of gab.
He does.
He just hasn't backed it up in
A long time.
Long time.
You know who he's actually really
He's taking a longer hiatus than us.
Yeah. He's actually really good at ducking USADA as well because he hasn't entered the testing pool, which is causing a huge issue with the Ultimate Fighter because they don't know if he can actually square off for the season finale or not.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Gaethje, who never shies away from a fight, just told McGregor in a very simple tweet back, "Sign the contract, big boy." I like that.
There you go.
Justin's not playing around. The other part about this, though, is that Justin kept a lot of things close to the vest here because he then started to reveal there were several opportunities for these two two MMA fighters to come together, and that McGregor would constantly shut it down, but then talk McGregor level shit, saying that Justin is, not going to be able to step up to him, couldn't survive. I'd knock him out one punch. Meanwhile, Gaethje's like the Homer Simpson of the UFC.
He can take some punishment.
Yeah. So if Gaethje goes chasing McGregor, he could end up with a few millions, but he may have to kind of stray away then from UFC Gold, which is something that he really wants to try to jump on.
Right.
Yeah.
Which he should. I mean, that if you went after the money fight with McGregor and happened to lose, then that championship's out the window.
Yeah.
For a couple more fights.
Absolutely, because that whole weight division's on fire right now.
He should just go for the belt.
I think he should.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
McGregor's just going to leave him in the wind anyway. He still has
yeah.
He has to still get through Chandler, right? So
Chandler, and he has to clear USADA.
yeah.
So, and who knows if he can do that right now? Because the rumors are out there.
He is gigantic.
He put on a lot of weight quick, and he came back from a fully broken leg. What, in 2 days? Was he Wolverine?
Adamantium? I don't think so. But man, that Gaethje head kick knockout to Poirier.
It was amazing.
Holy cow. And big thanks to Brendan Schwab for picking Poirier in that, because I bet on Gaethje.
Brendan Schaub is just like your I bet against the Pirates.
Yep.
Anything Brendan picks is like, I'll go with the opposite.
I'm up so much on that this year.
But the funny thing, too, about that head kick was if you saw there was a camera in Justin's corner, and his corner man was like, hey, we're working on head kicks. Throw one. He's like, oh, okay. He just knocks Dustin's head off.
Gotcha, boss.
So before we head into a break, we got some wrestling bites here because we can't have Decaying with the Boys without some squared, circled nonsense. So first and foremost here, WWE sets a quarterly record with $410.3 million in revenue. This is a record. And I can only point to one thing. It's the mystery of what the mustachioed McMahon does. That dude is up to no good. He's like a villain in a Disney cartoon from the 40s.
Well, that Endeavor partnership must have helped with that too. They probably got big money on that. Their TV rights deals have always been impressive. I know that's coming up, and everybody's worrying about it between them and AEW.
Yeah, well, Fox has actually said they don't want to renew
Fox.
them.
Yeah, Fox said they're out. So let's see what happens with SmackDown coming up. I heard Disney maybe.
Disney tries to scoop up everything.
That'll cost a lot more for your pay-per-views.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, good for them. I'm actually really liking the product for the most part.
Me too.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the booking is nice.
good to them. Just keep McMahon's dirty paws off of most of those storylines, and we're good.
Speaking of dirty paws, the Elite re-signed with AEW for long-term contracts. Now, we had...
some people thought we would be shocked about that.
Yeah, we had some...
Not surprised.
Some reporters out there that we like to refer to once in a while, and they're like, dude, you guys get the scope. Like, they weren't going to go anywhere else.
Not a shock. Especially the Bucks. Their value has gone...
It's exponentially down.
Yeah. They haven't had a good match in quite a bit.
The last good match I saw with them was the against Lucha Brothers. That match of the year contender, the cage match.
2022. So.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the last time but I think Omega's worth the money because if you look at his line of work, like he had some bangers, like especially with the American Dragon. That fight still lives in my brain.
I do not like him at all, like his in-ring performance or anything, but he is worth the money.
Yeah.
He is something. He's valuable.
Yeah. And
so is Adam Page.
And I hope too that at this point, with Omega kind of shoring up his future with AEW, that maybe he can then swing back in and focus on the AEW women's division, because he was the main component of that. But you can tell the product on that side really sloped off whenever the idea of like, is he going to sign or not, kind of was up in the air. MJF and Adam Cole are set for All In at Wembley Stadium. That's going to be a banger. Absolutely. The dad bod of all dad bods going against the devil. I like that.
Love it.
Yeah.
We need a few more matches announced. We have a month to go.
Yeah. I'm getting kind of nervous for you.
It's the last Sunday of the month, which will be nice. It's a noon start, I think, for us here in the U.S., which is great because it's right after a beer festival that we're doing. So good hangover fodder for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just laying on the couch and hoping for the best.
Hell yeah.
And then a quick little roundup here. Bianca Belair has gone ice cold. Since she lost the belt, she has no direction, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, 'cause she's still my favorite.
She is. She's amazing. In-ring performance is second to
Unreal.
none.
Good storyteller
Yeah.
when she has a storyline.
Gotta do something with her.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll be back soon.
On the flip side of that, Rhea Ripley is coming out just absolutely smoking hot. She and the Judgment Day are holding down Raw and actually SmackDown too. And now NXT, because Dirty Dom has the North American title.
Getting that heat.
Yeah. Oh, he can't even talk.
They got the whole caboodle in there. Finn Balor, I think, is going to be going for the Rollins title here. He might be challenging.
Yeah.
He might have just challenged at SummerSlam. I don't really know the card.
I think he is.
I'm just going to flip that on Sunday probably and rewatch. But yeah, you got that, and you got Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Also in the Judgment Day. So like Dissension teases, and everybody's got gold.
I know this is Monday, and we're after SummerSlam, but I'm going to be future Matt, Mystic Matt, if you will. I'm going to say that Finn Balor wins the belt, and then
Priest
cashes in on Balor.
Well, at SummerSlam.
I
hope you don't win. Balor's already held that title once for less than 24 hours.
I know.
I don't want to see it again.
Poor man. But before we go to the break, the best piece of news that I can announce right now, Hikaru Shida is the AEW Women's Champion. That's my boo. I love Hikaru
I felt
Shida.
really good for you when I saw that.
Yeah.
And that probably is the, besides MJF Adam Cole main eventing, that was probably the best match of the week.
Yeah, I would
sure.
say. Yeah,
that was the best match.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
And the second best thing in wrestling, right behind the main event announcement for All Out.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
Or All In, or whatever it is.
Whatever you want to call it. Well, if you go by CM Punk, it's the Wembley Stadium show. The Wembley Bembley.
Well, the other one's a week later, so we're going to get a lot of AEW here at the end of August, beginning of September.
So buckle up with us. We'll try to make it not as CM Punky as we possibly can. So we are going to go into a break.
You saying that.
I know.
I still love the man.
It's still real to me, damn it.
He's a grumpy old fuck just like your boy.
So we're going to go into a break, and usually here I tell you, if you want to support us, support our sponsors. When we support our sponsors, we do get this cool stuff. We don't have any sponsors anymore.
We love our sponsors.
So I'm going to put an ad in here for one of the friends of ours from my lovely brain trust of podcasts that I still collaborate with. So we'll stick around and see who it is. See you in round 2.
Casting views.
Face it, dating sucked in your 20s, gets worse in your 30s, and your 40s, forget it.
It's a cesspool out there, and we're your flotation device.
Join us weekly for saucy chat, ridiculous love gurus,
and MILF-worthy fun to spice up your life.
The MILF and Me podcast. Every Wednesday on your favorite pod platform.
And the MILFandMePod.com.
The MILF and Me podcast.
Welcome back. Hopefully you heard something cool from our friends and you go check them out. Because when you check them out, they might say something nice about us, and you'll come back and listen to us, and it'll be cyclical and synergy and whatever the big words I learned in college that I don't use.
It's like the snake eating its own tail.
Yeah.
Or something. I think that's the wrong metaphor.
Whatever. So we are in round 2. Adam, you procured another fantastic beer from our friends down south in West Virginia. So it's round 2. You brought beers, put them together. Round 2 beers. What are we drinking?
Hell yeah. So, I mean, this was kind of bring it full circle coming back from hiatus, because before hiatus, we had this idea to travel down to West Virginia and do like a weekend of podcasts with unknown breweries.
Yeah.
And I've picked one.
Nice.
If we ever do that again. And it's High Ground Brewing in Terra Alta, West Virginia, which was kind of in a quiet area of West Virginia. It was a very cool brewery, though, with very, very cool people bartending and on the brew staff, the people I met. So I saved a couple of these for when we came back. I got them fresh off the canning line. They were canning this the day I was there.
Nice.
And it is called Heavy Doge.
Let me get a sound effect in here. Like we never left.
So Heavy Doge is an 8.4 double hazy IPA. And it's hopped with 4 different types, 4 different versions, I guess, or methods of Citra. We have Cryo Citra, Lupamax Citra, Spectrum Citra, and Incognito Citra. So it's all the ways you can get Citra except for just in hop pellets or in a full hop. And I remember this being delicious.
I'm going to tell you right now, man. It sounds intimidating when you talk about it. There's a ton of like different kinds of Citra and sound effects. But it's smooth. Even for an Imperial, there's not a whole lot of like overbite to it. It's really nice and smooth. And you get that nice fruitiness. Of course, Citra is citric. So you get a nice fruit to it. I really like this, man. I was kind of timid. I thought it was going to be a little heavier than it was.
I will give them super credit before I talk about how it tastes on their canning of it. It was filled to the tippity top.
Yeah.
No room for oxygen in there, my man. Like, that is...
Yeah, I made a mess out of my face.
That's probably why I got this. I got this like about a month ago, and it's still tasting super fresh.
Yeah, dude. It's really good.
Yeah, it's delicious. But yeah, like you said, a lot of those good fruity notes, even more than just grapefruit coming off the Citra, because you're just getting it in so many variations. And then the mouthfeel on it's just great. Just very nice and pillowy and soft, but full. It's not thin at all.
Yeah.
It's very good. This is going to make the end of round 2 very interesting.
Yes. But to get to the end of round 2, we must battle through the beginning of it. Adam, you and I have many battles back and forth about music. Your love for Avenged Sevenfold is second to none.
I hate them.
With so much love. And
I hate them with all my love.
and my unabashed desire to be in a Nickelback cover band when we just really go after each other. But the one thing we can tend to agree on pretty much is nu metal, where I think you and I both really sparked our love for all things metal.
Yeah, it got me into the music I'm into now, and I'm sure I at some point over the last 2 decades, I was embarrassed that I liked it and denounced it for a while, but it's coming back. I mean, it's kind of a good time to cover this because metal in general is
on the rise,
coming back. You're seeing it more in pop culture again, whether it be deathcore or Norwegian metal or black metal or new metal. Like it's all kind of coming back. New metal itself as a genre is having new bands come in and do it again. And you're just seeing more tours and more of it just every day.
You know, you can thank for that My Chemical Romance, as much as you don't want to.
I'm not gonna, because I don't see the connection at all.
Emo music, laid low, and then
so they got out of the way for metal?
No. Hear me out.
I'll try to bite my tongue.
Emo music, like, no, it doesn't. My Chemical Romance, you know, all those bands. Fall Out Boy still doing it pretty hard. Panic at Disco is still putting out albums, but all these other bands that were kind of laying dormant. They started doing these 15-year like reunion for this album, this and that, and all of a sudden the new metal band started to catch on to that. So you started seeing like Limp Bizkit made a quick little turnaround, and they started bringing on little acts with them, like local acts. Kind of reinvigorated it. Then all of a sudden you're hearing about all these old new metal bands that we loved. Dude, Stained is playing like tonight.
They're not in my top of anything. But
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
They are playing tonight.
I kind of feel like we got to give My Chemical Romance the props.
I will give you a bit. I think you're correct there in a way, because I just thought of it. It was last year you had the big pop punk emo fest that came through. I forget what the tour was called. Or the fest. It was just a festival like in Vegas or whatever.
Yeah.
But then this year you did.
When we were young.
There you go.
That's it. Yeah.
So that was the festival last year. Then this year you had Sick New World, which was all new metal acts.
Yeah, dude.
In Vegas, which I wish I would have went.
Me too.
I am broke as a joke.
Same
I need to get this podcast money back in. That's the only reason I'm still talking to Matt.
Let's get.
I need the money from
sponsors.
I need the singles of $2 we've ever made out of this podcast. I need my cut of that $2.
I'll find it. I'm sure I could go through your couch and get enough change to give you.
Give me a $3 bill, y'all.
I just wanted a Pepsi. So, friend of the podcast, Loudwire. They're not friends of ours.
They're about as relevant as we are at this point.
So they decided to declare the top 50 new metal albums of, I guess I would say like late 90s, early 2000s, that kind of, like that influential era.
It looks like all time. They basically said from like 94 to 2004.
Yeah,
so
pretty
that
much.
10-year period.
So they based it off of album sales and then writer opinion and then influence on modern metal. So there's 50 of them. Dude, we're not going to do all 50 because we try to stick around an hour for this podcast and we'll go way over. So I just want to run the top 10 by you, and I want to see if you agree with this or not.
Sure.
And maybe we make some alterations.
So we're going like basically of all time, because new metal kind of started. I mean, you probably still had it into like 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Probably all the way till we graduated college, like 2008. Like
Yeah.
barely there. It was definitely fading.
It was fading. Like Bullet for My
But
Valentine was kinda holding down.
this decade was like when it all was
It was huge.
happening.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. I'm down for that. Tap back into my angsty teens and let's do this.
Well, break out those gauges, Adam, because coming at number 10 in 2000, a little band called Disturbed released their platinum album, The Sickness, which featured the track that every frat guy played when he was lifting weights at our college, Stupefy. Dude, everybody.
But also down with the sickness. Ooh, wah, ah.
Oh, yeah. Everyone tried to
Mommy,
do that.
don't hit me again.
Oh, the unedited version that no one would play except MTV screwed up one time. They got sued by Clear Channel so fucking quick for that. Yeah, dude. Every guy with a monster tattoo kept trying to do the wah. I can't do it either.
I mean, it just reminds me of me wearing my Jinkos with a Rockstar energy drink in each pocket,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
With
Those are coming back,
with the
too.
Liberty spiked hair. Here we go.
Adam was a different person back then.
I was a freshman in high school in this.
You were? Yeah.
So, yeah, I was very influenced.
Coming at number 9, speaking of an influence, this one's for me. It's Korn's Follow the Leader, released in 1998. Korn's first 4 albums were bangers.
Yeah.
They didn't stop producing albums that had multiple number ones on the alternative and rock charts. Because also new metal wasn't classified correctly. They didn't know how to put it in anything, which kind of helped them out because then they were like on different billboards in the top 10s.
Yeah, I think by the time Follow the Leader came out, like new metal was being used as a genre, but not their first 2 albums. Like,
No.
nobody knew what to call that.
Yeah. Everyone's just like, it's Satan's music.
Yeah. Follow the Leader for me is what got me started, man. That was my first metal album. So it being at number 9 is actually kind of disappointing for me. I think it should, to me personally, it should be higher.
And we'll debate that here in
Yeah.
a second, sir.
Yeah.
Because
Are we just running through them right now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
let's go a little quicker on that one then. So, but just a little bit.
To go back to Disturbed, though,
Yeah.
to their credit, they're still, I mean, and Korn, they're both still making
Yeah,
new albums.
still making
I think
it.
they both dropped new albums in the last 2
Yeah.
years. So.
Yeah, and they both
Good
do
on them.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of first metal albums, this was mine. System of a Down self-entitled debut album, System of a Down in 1998, coming at number 8. Slipknot's The Barcode album, their debut album with Corey Taylor at the helm in 1999, comes at number 7.
The one we all know with Wait and Bleed.
Yes. Number 6, Linkin Park's Meteor from 2003. Number 5 is Deftones' White Pony from 2000.
Yeah, boy.
Slipknot, Iowa from 2001 comes at number 4. Linkin Park makes another entry with Hybrid Theory at number 3. System of a Down takes their second spot at number 2 with Toxicity. And at number 1, Korn's self-entitled album, Korn from 1994.
Are you ready?
So I'm looking at this list, Adam, and I already can pick out a couple that I would say influential, but I don't like you. Is that the nice way to say it?
Yeah. I got a couple.
Okay.
I don't even know if I have a couple of those.
Okay, real quick. Make eye contact with me real quick.
Yeah.
Let's say the one that we both, I feel like I read your mind, and I feel like it's the same one. So, 1, 2, 3.
Meteora.
Deftones. Whoops. So you want to get rid of Meteora?
Yeah, I think Hybrid Theory belongs in the top 10 because
Okay.
I think that was influential and
Okay.
groundbreaking. And
It really was, yeah, because that's One Step Closer was on that one, right?
Meteor's probably where it's at for. Yeah, One Step Closer was on Hybrid Theory. In the end,
Yeah, so those are,
everything that I like from Linkin Park was on that
yeah.
album.
The Meteoric album was more of what they're commercialized,
Yeah, and I think that's probably in the top 10 just based on album sales.
which, yeah, it could be, because you're right. I think, yeah, their Hybrid Theory definitely had more of a punch to it, like a shock. of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it was fresh. It was
Yeah.
a little bit more clean vocals than we were used to.
Yeah.
A little bit. It was very well produced.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for that being their first major album anyway.
Well, that's all Mike Shinoda.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
that album was produced.
speaking
really
of that,
well.
did you like the Executioners? All the DJs?
Yeah, well, I like the song that they did with Linkin Park.
That no, I like because I had Sid in there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Starscream. Yeah, no, I liked Executioners a lot.
I did like. I never like bought any of their albums, but every time I did illegally download some of their songs.
There you go. The
Shout out to LimeWire.
The RI, you gave your computer AIDS. Yeah. That's what you did.
Sorry, it was my parents' computer back then.
Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, I can agree with you in terms of if you had to put this head to head, if it's you had to get rid of one Hypertheory Meteor is out. But let's go to the standalone island idea I just had right there, which you sold me out completely.
Sorry, man.
Deftones is not new metal.
I think they are. I think they.
Okay.
I think they were then
When?
in the '90s. Like Around the Fur definitely had a new metal sound. It sounded like Korn. I mean, it was like California metal.
It sounds like watered down Tool to me.
I like the. You're gonna make me so mad. I
I
like
know.
the Deftones.
I don't.
Ugh. Especially that. That's my favorite album.
Which
White
one?
Pony.
White Pony?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just so good, man.
I,
Scott Weiland's on there.
okay.
You're such a dick.
Scott Weiland was also the lead singer of Velvet Revolver. Better band.
And Stone Temple Pilots better.
Better band.
I mean, Stone Temple Pilots better than Velvet Revolver.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh! Shut up! Now you're just
I'm just getting you
twisting.
back.
Now you're just twisting my
I'm
nuts.
twisting your nuts.
Oh my god!
So-
No, I think they. I mean, they're influential. Their vocals were like none of the others on the list.
Would you switch though?
They're still they're super popular now. Although I don't think what they're doing now is new metal
No. Would you-
anymore. Now it's kind of like watered down Tool.
It is. It is. Yeah. And that's what I was.
Actually,
hearing
I
back
think
then.
it's good Tool.
Is that a thing?
I mean, I don't
We'll get.
I still will listen to Deftones.
Yeah, just like the Ben Sevenfold. So would you take? Would you swap the
I don't want
albums
to
out
talk about
then?
music anymore.
Would you swap Around the Fur out for White Pony? Then would you swap those two
No.
out? You think
No, I put Around the Fur in the top 10.
who would you
but I
take
think-
out?
The Meteor is gone.
So wait, you would double up on Deftones, but you take Meteor
In the top 10.
I don't know about that.
But then just leave White Pony. Around the Fur can be number 12.
Okay, it works for me. I think too. I'm gonna agree.
I don't know. No, they do. I was just going to say, I don't know if Disturb belongs in the top 10, but they do.
That one does.
They got a lot of people.
This album,
Yeah,
The Sickness.
yeah,
The
yeah.
other ones are okay, but this one,
Yeah, you're right. There wasn't a bad song on that album.
no, not at all. Like even
Well, except I did not like
Shout.
Down with the Sickness. The freaking mommy bridge was weird.
Yeah, that was odd.
Didn't need that.
Yeah,
I actually liked the radio version of that song.
I did too. Yeah, it was a bit too much.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I gotta make sure you know I'm crazy.
And I was 14, and I was like, this is too angsty.
yeah, like, you're doing too much, man.
You're a little weird, dude.
Like, aren't you a grown man? Go to therapy. This is not the time to get on the. Everyone else in the band's like, David, what are you doing? He's like, I'm working things out. So I'm gonna throw this out there and fully agree with number one. I think Korn Self-Entitled album is the quintessential new metal album.
I think it got the whole genre started.
I think it did too.
I mean, you can look years before
Yeah.
that.
like Primer 55.
Yeah. No, like some people were like, well, rap and rock combined when Aerosmith and Run DMC made that terrible song.
It was a bad song.
And I'm like,
why does everybody like that song?
I don't know.
I don't like that. It's Run DMC's so cool, and they did that shit.
Public Enemy Anthrax was way better.
That was so
Bring the Noise was way better.
Yeah, I'll listen to Bring
Point
the
at
Noise.
that.
Yeah.
But everybody
Boink.
points to freaking Aerosmith Run DMC. And
Yeah, I'm not a
song
fan of
was
that
terrible.
song. Yeah, I don't know.
Corny as hell.
And I like Aerosmith too. I do. Loving the Elevator.
I mean,
really
yeah,
cool.
you like Nickelback. So
I do. Oh man, look at this photograph. I love that stuff, man. It puts me to sleep.
So what else? What else can we kick out?
So let's look at a couple of the ones that were outside of the top 10 and see if we can.
What about Toxicity being number 2?
I would rather take System of a Down Self-Entitled album, make that number 2.
I didn't sell enough, probably. I mean, the songs on Toxicity were more popular. I think Hybrid Theory, though, is probably a bigger deal than Toxicity. That's like comparing.
Well, if we're gonna go off that, if we're gonna go off like influence, I'm gonna tell you Slipknot's Barcode album is number 2 because they brought in like the rage.
Yeah.
With that, so if we're gonna like,
I mean, I'd put that above Toxicity too. Honestly.
Yeah, I would. But if I had to flip Toxicity and the self-entitled album, I would do that too. But I think if I could, here's my pitch to you for the top 3: Korn self-entitled, Slipknot the Barcode album, and then I want to do Linkin Park Hybrid Theory for number 3, because they each had a different thing that they did.
Yeah,
the influence.
It's an eclectic mix.
Yeah. And
I like Iowa better, but it's not a more influential album.
It's not.
It's just a better album.
It's a better produced album,
Yeah.
but I think the Barcode album has more of like that angst.
And it's more
raw.
Influential. It was the first time hearing
Yeah.
it.
And you fell in love with Roadrunner at that point too, man. Like that was my gateway to Roadrunner Records.
Yeah. None of these other bands were
No.
there at that time.
So let's look at some.
What about my top 3?
What's your top?
What
three?
about my top 3?
Okay, go ahead, lay them on me. See how wrong you are. Avenged Sevenfold wasn't even on this.
Deftones number 1.
Shut
No,
the fuck.
I'm just kidding. I think Korn self-titled is where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
1. Damn.
It gets tough when you start looking at that list.
Hybrid Theory 3 still. So number 2, I might be copying you.
Yeah, it feels good to be right.
Yeah, I'm probably copying you.
Yeah, feels good.
Throw a little Static X.
I love Static X.
Anyway, speaking of who's not on the list,
Yes.
let's go. Yeah, I guess I agree with you.
Could they just branch out in different ways?
I feel like you could either put System of a Down's first album or Slipknot's first album
Yeah, I could go with that.
in number 2.
Yeah. So at number 50, the very, very first entry that these writers felt inclined to put in the top 50 is a little band called Crazy Town.
Setting it off.
Yes.
My favorite.
The
definitely
gift game.
definitely belong in the top 50 just based on album sales and kind of like how we argued like Toxicity's higher on the list than the self-titled.
Yeah.
Just because like it brought more listeners into nu metal just because that hit
Yeah.
top 40 radio. That was on B94. That was pop music.
You're talking
was
old man
crossing.
shit right now. B94.
B95. But it was top 40. I don't even know what the pop station in Pittsburgh is anymore.
I don't know what it is either. But
Because everything I turn on is sports talk.
Yes.
Sports talk.
but I was gonna say Crazy Town to me is like Brendan Schaub.
Mark Madden snoring into a microphone.
I watched Crazy Town do it, and I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. Like it's the same thing with stand-up comedy.
It's not too far off.
I see Brendan Schaub doing it. I was like, he can do it, I can do it.
I would argue that he can't do it. So I don't know if you can do it either.
Dicey. So how about a little band called Kitty with an album called Spit?
That's their best album. They're influential because it's an all-female act.
Yes.
So they do belong in the top 50. 41 actually might be a little low because there were some really good songs on that album.
Yeah.
Their discography after that
Falls
is
off.
pretty choppy. I think their second album was pretty decent too, but they kept it going. They might actually still be going too. I think they were at Sick New World.
I will tell you right now that the lead singer has her own podcast.
Oh, no way.
And she is friends with one of the people that I podcast with every once in a while.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I'll have to,
Morgan, I think was her name.
I'll have to reach out and see.
Yeah, I mean, their first 2 albums, like,
Yeah.
I was into them,
Really?
and if there were any girls in high school that listened to that album, I was into those
You're
girls.
hot. Yeah. You're hot.
Just going back to 14, 15-year-old. What year? I don't know what year that was. That was probably between 2000 and 2004 for
Yeah,
sure. So,
because-
I was high school at them.
They freaked out everybody. They're like, "It's all girl band. They dress crazy."
Brackish.
Yeah.
If you want, that was their top friggin' song. And
One of
it
your
is-
favorites.
It's still killer.
One of your favorite bands here, Coal Chamber.
Yeah, man. They are. So that's their self-titled album in at 35.
Yes.
It's probably all right. That's not even my favorite. That was a good album. That got a lot of people into nu metal.
I think so too.
But they had an album after that called Dark Days, which was like
Really
my
good.
favorite.
Yeah.
with a little song called Rowboat, which is like funny and dark at the same time.
Listen to it, folks.
It's hilarious. Get out of my rowboat.
Static X, Wisconsin Death Trip at number 27, which one of my favorite albums from the new metal scene.
Influential in a way where they combined industrial music with new metal. Kind of Deftones. Nah, Deftones didn't really do industrial very much. I'm thinking of Fear Factory. But yeah, Static X did it and made that popular, and I think that's their best album by far. Every song on that album's nuts.
There's a band here that I thought was placed just right. It coming at number 23. The last one honorable mentions is Mudvayne with LD50.
Just above halfway.
Yeah.
I could see them being a little higher just because but I don't know how much they brought people into music, like when we're talking about Korn and System of a Down and Linkin Park, like getting people into new metal. They kind of already took the established people that were into it from one of those other bands.
Yeah.
But like improved it. Like the musicality from them was way better. They kind of put it in with prog rock and math rock,
which is really cool.
And it had really cool rhythms. Like their drummer and their bassist are amazing.
They were on a different level of groove when it came to, because when I was a kid, I didn't really know what groove metal was very well. But even on Dig, when you hear the way that the drummer and the bass player, because everyone knows like ding ding ding, they know that part. But if you listen to the groove of it, like that, and the drummer and the bass player are just so in sync the entire time, and that comes from a lot of Sean Crahan, Clown. He produced this album, so that's where you get a lot of that clarity and the percussion of it. He kind of knows what the people want.
Yeah, beautiful album. There's one that's completely left off of everything, and I think one of their albums, we can argue which one should be in the top 10.
Okay.
Limp Bizkit. I did look at the list, and they were like scattered throughout the 20s. I think Significant Other might have been in the teens.
Yeah.
But yeah, no Limp Bizkit. They did have 3 albums in the top 50 list, but none of them made the top 10, which I think's surprising.
It's a travesty, man. I think Hot Dog Water. No, was it
Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog flavored water?
Sorry, buddy. Thanks.
Do things my way.
my way. That was an amazing album.
I think Significant Other, even before that, they were kind of there with Korn and Linkin Park. Like they were the TRL bands that were bringing metal onto the mainstream. Like without those 3 bands, that genre would have died long before it did.
And what the fuck would the Undertaker have done without Rollin'?
Oh man, I don't know what I would have done without Rollin'. Then they did that mix with DMX on it. Oh,
that's good shit, dude.
Oh, we're listening to that after the podcast.
Do you know what else you can't live without, Adam?
Our sponsors.
Well, yeah, that.
But my favorite segment, maybe?
Questions from the internet.
Hell yeah, my favorite segment.
So I reach out into the depths of the Twitterverse, which is now called X.
I know.
Time has
we've
passed
been gone so long. You went away to So you said you went to rearrange your life and everything.
Yeah.
I think you might have been pregnant. We've been gone for about 9 months.
Yeah, I had a couple food
10
babies.
months with a little bit. Yeah.
I did some emotional eating.
Little paternity leave.
I did a lot of emotional eating. I had a biscuit baby.
I just found that funny. I was like, oh yeah, you were gone about 9.5 months.
You sorted me out.
Yep,
I can't believe this. So I reached out into the universe of X, and I brought you 3 questions, and these are so good because the first one is definitely because we're fat. You get a plate of fries and you have no ketchup. What is your substitute? Let me start off with saying, why the fuck do you think I put ketchup on my fries? Like, that's not my go-to.
It's not always my go-to. Depends where I'm at. But good. What's your...
Easily barbecue sauce. Mainly honey barbecue sauce. Potatoes and barbecue sauce are as quintessential to me as barbecue sauce and ribs. Like, those things just, for me, go together. Yeah.
It says, what is your substitute? But I feel like I have so many options here.
You do. You have a lot of things to pick from, and you are like a saucier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go. Hot sauce.
Yes.
Mayonnaise, blue cheese. Or hot sauce mixed with either mayonnaise or blue cheese. All amazing. Okay. And then in a close second place with those 3 that are tied for first is honey mustard.
Oh, honey mustard is
Yeah.
a staple. Yeah. Yeah.
But man, some hot sauce and mayo mixed together.
I'll take your word for
Oh,
it.
it'll make you feel like shit, but
Yeah, dude.
tastes good.
It sounds like nothing but sodium and fat.
Yeah, blue cheese gives a little funk to it. Blue cheese is pretty good too. Now I'm hungry. Thanks, man.
Blue cheese is the best.
I think hot sauce is a little better. I think hot
No.
sauce
Like
is
in
better.
terms of like cool condiments,
Oh yeah.
blue cheese is the best.
Oh yeah.
Hot sauce is the best,
Right.
but blue cheese is the best of that world.
And fuck ranch.
Oh, fuck ranch all day. Yeah, for sure. Speaking of fucking ranch,
There goes the 5 listeners we had left.
jeez, they loved ranch.
We just said fuck ranch in Pittsburgh.
I put it on everything.
That's like saying fuck the big H, the big Heinz ketchup. You don't
Oh
say that.
no, well we don't.
Talk that garbage.
God don't make no
And
junk.
then the Steelers said it.
Yeah. Get mad at them. Quentin Tarantino is about to direct his 10th and final film entitled The Critic. Adam, who should be the lead role in this movie? And just for some kind of exposition here, it's a film in the late 1970s and it's a male-centered role.
Gotcha.
So, who do you pick?
I did look at this ahead of time, and questions from the internet's my favorite segment.
Yeah.
So of course I don't just have one answer.
Yeah.
Of course, Leo or Brad Pitt, because they're
Okay.
Quentin's guys already.
Yes.
So either of them, fine. Probably will be one of them.
Yeah.
But I would like to see a little bit of love given to my guy Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
Maybe getting a little lead spot, or take it super meta and give it to John Lovitz.
Yes!
Because he was the critic
He
in
was
the
the
animated
critic.
show.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what the fuck is John Lovitz up to these days? Because there's no way he's done anything since like what, The Wedding Singer.
know I haven't seen him in forever, but I also know he is still alive. So
Well, there you go.
maybe it's
I
him.
think you got it. He was so good in the Benchwarmers.
I did just see. Oh well, I'll listen to your pick first, but I did
Yeah.
see Tarantino's trying to bring somebody in for this movie, which is pretty cool.
Okay. My number one pick was John Lovitz.
Nice. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal
no,
your
it's
fire.
no, because if it's called The Critic
Right.
and John
That show was funny.
it was so good. But if I had to go, oh, by the way, why are you picking the hottest dudes to be critics in the late 1970s? You just want to see Bradley Cooper with his shirt off, don't you?
Yeah. If I'm gonna watch a 3-hour movie,
You think it's gonna be 3 hours?
I need a little. It's
They're
a Quentin
all three-
Tarantino
yeah,
movie.
They're all
Yeah.
3 hours. Yeah.
So, yeah, if
Well,
I'm
who-
gonna watch a Quentin Tarantino movie, I'll need some eye candy.
Well, what dude do I want to watch for 3 hours? Josh Gad, like he does the Olaf voice.
Sticking with the tribe. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So John Lovitz for sure.
Also sticking with the tribe.
Yeah, I like to. That I have a lane.
That's fine. That's good. I mean, both of those are fine choices. Josh Gad would actually be pretty interesting in a.
I think you would be
Tarantino
too.
movie.
Or
Especially since Jonah Hill got canceled.
yeah,
won't be seen.
because I wasn't going to bring him up because he puts really firm ground rules on things.
Hey, I know you surf, but the bikinis, what the
Nah,
fuck?
what's up with that shit? You got long pants for this or not?
Weirdo.
Last question here.
Weird ass rich kids.
You go on one of the.
the guy that
Yeah.
the guy that Tarantino's trying to bring in though.
Yeah.
It's heartwarming.
Yes.
He's trying to somehow get a small role for Bruce Willis to be in his last
Oh,
movie.
that'd be nice.
Yeah, and I hope he does.
I do too.
But yeah, sorry.
That's
Didn't
okay.
mean to.
What if he was like a ticket taker or something?
Yeah, just like a little guest starring
Cameo.
thing.
People will pop for
yeah,
that.
I mean, you can get
Yeah.
you can get him in there.
He can fit somewhere. Last question here, Adam. Apparently these are fun to watch, and I started watching clips after I found this question. You go on one of those hit the buzzer to end the date shows. Are you legit listening to the person that you're trying to go on a date with, or are you just going to try and smack the buzzer to get internet laughs?
I haven't seen any of these shows recently, but there was that one when we were in like going back to the 2000s, early 2000s again. Next on MTV.
Hates the sound of people eating bananas.
That's all I can think of. I don't think I would smack it like as soon as I see them.
Yeah.
But like I'd quickly find a reason and just
Oh yeah.
first red flag.
Boom. You know what I would want to do?
I don't like your nail polish color.
Boom. Be a full blown narcissist. Let me be the opposite of who I am right now.
Oh yeah, exactly. You'd have to act it up.
Absolutely.
You gotta get those views.
Gotta get those views, get those likes, get those sponsors. Sponsor us. Please, someone sponsor us. What I'd like to do is keep trying to put my hand under theirs when they go for because they're going to hit the buzzer on me, right? It's going to happen. They're going to take a look at you. And then I'm going to try to sneak my hand under there so they make my hand hit the buzzer, and then I'll make them feel like, you hit my hand into it. I thought you were trying to grab my hand. Oh, so I would try to.
Wow, you're going the same way I am.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm
super narcissist.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So are you going just like in Patrick Bateman character, or are you going to wear the clear raincoat too?
Oh, yeah, totally. And I want to walk and swing on my hips.
That'll probably get you some dates.
Just start talking about cat facts.
That'll get you some dates.
Domestic short hair cats are actually known for not having so many hairballs whenever they're going through their shedding process in the summertime. Did you know that? You didn't? Would you know long-haired cats have a harder time digesting their food because there's so much hair in their intestinal tract?
Good people love cats.
Yeah, I know.
Good people love cats. Let me show you some pictures of intestinal tract.
It's like, sir, I don't want to do this anymore. So, Adam, we are drawing to the near end of our return show. But as always, we have to tell people what's on tap and where can you find us.
Yeah, for sure. Just to start it off, if you want the RAZMON or the JOJINATOR, you better get tickets for Barrel and Flow August 12th because we're going to kick them. So you won't be finding those anywhere else. I would bet if there is anything left, it'll be here, but not promising anything. Right now, though, we have Dad Shoes on tap. That is our 5.5% lemon shandy. And then we have Kickin' Kitty, which is the last of its kind. And it might not be on anymore by the time you're hearing this. Coming in at a rockin' 7.2% with the now late and rest in peace Black Forge coffee.
Rest.
So the next time you have Kickin' Kitty, it'll be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, where you can find us, like I said, we're going to say it a third time because it's this Saturday. Barrel and Flow, August 12th. The Stacks at Three Crossings in the Strip District here in Pittsburgh. Then you can find us 2 weeks later at the North Hills Home Brew Fest, August 26th at the Pittsburgh Shrine Center Pavilion in Cheswick, PA. Then 2 weeks after that, you can find us at Crush and Brew, September 9th at Old Economy Village in Ambridge, PA for a nice homebrew and home winemaking festival and competition. So buy your tickets now. It's a very nice layout there. They've done some wonderful work on that event over the last few years. Yeah. So come check it out. And then finally, last but not least, Brewing for a Cause, which is now benefiting Paws Across Pittsburgh animal charity, an animal rescue. That will take place Halloween weekend, October 28th at the Energy Innovation Center in Pittsburgh, PA. So get all of those events. Have tickets on sale now. Please get them. Of course, in future podcasts, we will be pumping North Hills Home Brew Fest real hard, and I'll let you know what we're making for that next week.
And if you know what's going on, I'm down here in the Brew Lab. It's at Bash_Brew on all social media. It's Facebook, Instagram, and on X sometimes.
I'm still not on that. I mean, I'm on X, but I'm not on
Yeah,
X.
like you have it, but you don't use it.
I just stalk people on it. I mean,
you read news and you stay up to date.
Gotta follow them stocks.
And if you know what's going on, the boys down here in Jojitorium, you're at DWTB on all social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok, and YouTube. We're on everything. So give us a follow and see if you like something. So thanks for sticking around to the end of this, and thanks for sticking with us to welcome us all back. So until next time, cheers.
Cheers. I used to be a real piece of shit, though.